In this video, you will learn a simple trick for how to solve complex math equations. For example, the equation shown here. It's written as 3 plus 2 times 3 plus 2, which are in parentheses, and then that whole thing is cubed, or to the exponent of 3, times 2 minus 3 times 2 divided by 3. So the question is how do you solve it? Do you just solve it from left to right, where you would just add 3 plus 2 and then multiply that times 3 and then add 2 to that and then cube all of that? No, that's not how we do it. We don't read it from left to right, but there's a standard mathematical procedure, and all we need to do is memorize a simple acronym, and that will allow us to remember how to systematically solve complicated equations like this, even if they have some combination of multiplication and division and addition and subtraction, and maybe some parentheses in there, and even exponents. So we need to follow the order of operations. There's rules to how we solve complex equations like this, and the order of operations describes the rules that we need to follow. So what we need to memorize is this sentence: please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So all math students need to memorize this phrase, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, if they want to be able to simply solve complicated equations using the standard order of operations. So this is the order. First we do parentheses, that's please, and next we do the exponents, that's excuse. Next, we do multiplication and division collectively together. In the next step, it's multiplication and division, that's step 3. And in the final step, step 4, we do addition and subtraction. It doesn't matter if we do subtraction or addition first, collectively they're in one step together, and it doesn't matter if we do multiplication or division first, collectively they're in one step together. So again, to reiterate, the first step is that we solve what's in parentheses. Next, we apply any exponents. Next, we do multiplication and division, all in one step. And then in the next step, we do addition and subtraction, all in one step. And the way we can remember the order of these is by the first letter in each word in the phrase, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So now let's try applying this by solving the equation shown here. So first we're going to find what's in parentheses, and we will solve that and then rewrite the equation. So when we solve what's within that blue rectangle, 3 plus 2 is 5. So next we rewrite the equation with a 5. And now we need to solve any exponents. So that's 5 to the third power. 5 to the third power is 5 times 5, which is 125, times 5, which is, or 5 times 5, which is 25, times 5, which is 125. So 5 cubed is 125. So we're going to replace that 5 to the third power with 125. That's shown here. Next, we're going to do multiplication and division. Any string of multiplication and division that is not interrupted by an addition or subtraction we'll do all together. So we'll take that part that's encircled by the purple rectangle, and we'll multiply 2 times 125 times 2. And then we'll take that part that's encircled by the black rectangle, and we'll multiply 3 times 2 and divide that by 3. So when we rewrite the part that's encircled by the purple rectangle, it's 2 times 125, which is 250, times 2, which is 500. So that all collapses down to being 500. Then the part that's encircled by the black rectangle, 3 times 2 is 6, divided by 3 is 2. So that collapses down into 2. So now the equation has been simplified into 3 plus 500 minus 2. Therefore, we find that the final answer is 501. So remember to memorize the phrase, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, and that describes the fact that first we do parentheses, then exponents, then multiplication and division collectively in one step, and then addition and subtraction collectively in one step. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please consider clicking the like button and subscribing to the channel.